All right. You are listening to 91.7 WLFR Pomona. And we are with right now Jamie McClanahan of the Victory Drive, right?
That's right. Hey.
Are you still recording under that name?
I am.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Very good. Very
the
good.
Victory Drive with Audio Factory Records, recording at Audio Factory Studio.
Okay. It's been okay. It's been a while since I had since I had you on here. Well, let me say right off the top, you're you're only the second one now that I have tried finally joining the 21st century completely, and I'm recording the interview over Zoom, mostly because I can't have you in our studio right now, obviously for COVID shutdown reasons, but it is great having you back, even over the internet.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, hey, if that's what it takes, to keep everybody safe and healthy while still maintaining some bit of normalcy in our lives, then so be it, right?
Right, exactly. So tell us though, how have you been coping in the crazy year 2020 has been?
Oh man, well, unfortunately, I had a couple tours that were canceled, so I lost a bunch of money.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I had 2 tours in March, or I'm sorry, 1 tour in March and 2 in April. And they were with some of my favorite artists on a personal level, Of course,
Mhm.
Rookie of the Year, whom I'm always on the road with. But then, even Jameson, Parker, Spitalfield, May, some great bands from I guess you could say the emo era, if you want to put a label on it. But I guess that's what most people would know it as. But yeah, so great tours, and unfortunately they were canceled. I've only done one pandemic streaming show, if you will, for David Earl's birthday.
Oh, Dave's a great guy. Yeah.
Oh, he's fantastic. That's why I did it, because I'm not into the whole streaming concert, just because I know I wouldn't want to watch one. So but it was David Earl's birthday, so how could we turn that down?
Oh, definitely, yeah. He's the sound guy over at the Anchor Rock Club, and last year, 2019, we had a few shows of LFR DJs. He's spinning there, and we tried to get as many people as we could. David helped us out tremendously, syncing up our audio to theirs. We could not have done it without him, really.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, how have you been doing musically lately? On what's new?
Doing a lot, actually. I'm currently I just started the process of recording what will now be my 4th EP. It's called, it's actually, the title of it came about before the pandemic. It's called The Epidemic, because, with the name of the Victory Drive, the VD. So so the epidemic, so kind of implying a lot of people are listening to us, even though it's probably not really the case. But yeah, so I've been recording that at Audio Factory, producing it myself. So you know, and in fact, one of the songs I hear is going to debut today on the air
It
for
just
everybody.
might, yeah.
And it's actually, it's not even out yet. So everybody stay tuned, because it's going to be your only chance to hear it for a couple months.
Yes,
So
yes.
we have an exclusive coming from y'all.
Most definitely, most definitely. Okay. He okay. Since I had you on before, I'm gonna try not to repeat too many questions, but I don't think we ever got to this. Is how did things really start for you? What was the first inspiration that made you pick up a guitar and I want to play as you do?
That's actually a really good question. And I remember the exact moment. So when I was young, when I was a kid, specifically in seventh grade and before that, um, all I really cared about were sports. I was, I guess, a jock, and played ice hockey, and excelled at
Hmm.
it, and so I was really dedicated to ice hockey and sports. So I was at a school dance, and one minute I was still an athlete who only focused on sports, right? 5
Hmm.
minutes later, I no longer cared about sports and wanted to be a famous musician.
Wow.
All because the song Smells Like Teen Spirit played,
Ah.
and I'd never heard it before, which is, and the song was, even by then, it was already big and out for, well, long enough that I really should have known it, but somehow I didn't. So 1 minute I care about nothing but ice hockey and I want to be a professional athlete. And 5 minutes later, I completely flipped, completely, entirely. And
Wow.
yeah, and from that moment, music was just a huge part of my life ever since then. So Kurt Cobain or Nirvana, "Smells Like Teen Spirit" at a school dance changed me instantly. Instantly. I didn't grow up, on music, because my father died, unfortunately, when I was young, when I was
Oh, God
9.
bless.
Yeah, thank you. But so he died when I was 9, and my mother doesn't listen to music. She's I guess tone deaf. She has no appreciation for melody at all.
Hmm.
So even
Wow.
when as a kid, I would just hear talk radio. So music just wasn't really something that that was on my radar until I heard that song, and it just changed my whole world.
Wow. Great, great. He, Nirvana's a great band and been very influential to many, many people. Um, okay. Has any of Nirvana's influences seeped into your own music?
Yeah, I would say, but surprisingly, only in one way, and that is that I typically keep my guitar tuned down a half step. Most people
Hmm.
tune to E. I'm always in E flat. I'm always down a half step because I didn't take lessons or anything really. I learned a bunch of Nirvana. Nirvana is what I cared about. I got a
Right,
guitar and just learned a bunch of Nirvana songs. And Kurt Cobain was typically down a half step. So
right.
to this day, my guitar is tuned that same way. Um, other than that, I mean, that's I'd say probably the only real reason. And the other thing would be just the simplicity of the songs. My songs are fairly straightforward. There's no. I'm not Dream Theater. Uh, they're pretty simple, and that's another thing that I guess is a result of my of being influenced by Nirvana, is that Kurt's songs weren't all that difficult from a guitar perspective. So I guess I never, so neither are mine, because I just never, I wasn't sitting there practicing Dave Matthews Band or Metallica or any number of bands where the guitar work is more difficult, more intricate. So I'd say just the simplicity and my standard tuning, my version of standard tuning,
Okay, all right, all right.
which can
So
make it difficult when learning songs with new guys, and trying to go over things.
yeah, yeah, okay. All right. So, recording as Victory Drive, you've, as I recall, it is really just you, right? Or
Yeah.
is it with others?
No, so it used to be. I had two of my best friends actually, Rob Clark and Mike DeRoma, and the three of us were the band for a really long time. But then life gets in the way. I mean, there was never any real official breakup or anything, but I guess we were all just kind of burnt out. We were all exhausted. We've been doing it for a really long time, so we kind of put it away. And then when I decided to bring it back, these guys were getting married and stuff.
Right.
So I was in both their weddings. To this day, they're two
Very
of my best
nice.
friends. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're still two of my best friends, but they just weren't really. They didn't really have the time in their lives right now to be, you know, going back into music so seriously. So that's when I just decided I was going to become a solo artist instead of trying to find new guys to give me a hard time about the songs. I figured I would just stay solo, and that yeah, that's ultimately where where how it became what it is now.
Okay. 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 So do you play all the instruments when you record then?
Yeah, pretty for the most part, I'm playing everything. Occasionally, for one of the songs, Lexi Vito will come and maybe add some piano, or sometimes even Rob, former bass player Rob, will come and put on a bass line, and I'll just delete what I had. But for the most part, most of the songs now, it's all me. I'm doing the production, I'm doing all the recording, and pretty much, but that's okay because I'm writing it as I go. So
Right.
I'm actually okay with that. I kind of like writing alone anyway, because I like to really sit there and think about it as opposed to just, oh, this melody's cool, let's move on to the next thing. I'm like, well, hold on a second, So yeah, so now I'm a solo artist and I'm doing the majority of the record by myself.
All right. All right. Uh, okay. Speaking of writing, what comes first for you? Lyrics or the melody, or or does it change per song?
No, melody for me is always first, because this way, when it's time to figure out the lyric, well, there's a couple of reasons I do it this way. One of which, I need to know how long each phrase is going to be to be able to fit in some words. Uh,
Right.
so that's one reason. Also, writing lyrics that are meaningful takes a considerable amount of time, and I don't want to put all this time and effort into writing lyrics for a song that halfway through I decide, oh, really isn't as good as I had in mind, and I'd end up scrapping the song, which happens a
Ah,
lot. A lot of times you'll be like, this isn't really up to my standard or up to the standard I had in mind for this song. And so, you simply decide to discard it and move on. And so it'd be nice to not have dedicated a week straight of writing the lyrics to it, you know,
right.
prior to doing that. So for me, the lyrics are always the absolute last part of the writing. I take it back. They're not last. But oh no, well, they're either last or close to it. Very
Hmm.
close.
Interesting. Interesting. So,
But that's
okay.
just for me. Every
Right.
record, I know people who write the lyrics first. So, it really depends on a person, on the artist themselves. But for me, lyrics are absolutely last.
Ah, and, and okay. Do you ever get um okay, let's say an idea of a general subject or something? Because I can't help but think about bands and artists who do only instrumentals, and they put a title on an instrumental song, and I can't help but think, how did they get that subject for the
Yeah.
instrumental? Okay, you know.
That'd be funny if they put like parental advisory, explicit, explicit content on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I re- different, different people do it differently. Different
Right.
artists have different approaches, and I guess that's for me. Yes, I'll come up with a theme definitely before I write the lyrics. I'll actually not only will I come up with a theme, I'll come up with a word bank of just terms that I think, words that I'd like to get in the song. For example, um, I'm working on a song right now that's about, a best friend of mine actually dying. And so there's a lot of words in there like, about trying to speak, communicate with somebody who's, maybe passed on. So transmission and the atmosphere and the signal being blocked, things like that. So I'll write down a list of keywords that I want to kind of shoehorn into the song. And I'll also write a list of imperfect rhymes. I don't want to rhyme he, she, be, me, so I'll write words that don't necessarily rhyme, but that you can kind of massage them together and make them rhyme. So it's
Right.
for me, the lyrics are kind of a whole process. It's not just off the top of my head and it's something like that. It's more of it's a very thought out mechanical type of process.
Right. Right. Very good. Very good. Okay. So what do you do when you do have live shows? Although the past year, I know that's been very, very, very limited. But when you have gone on tour and I'm going on tour later on, are there artists that join you?
Yeah. It's each tour will have a different group of bands
Mm.
or artists. Some of them are solo artists. So that varies.
Well, I mean, playing with you
Oh,
as a Victory Drive.
got you. Yeah. It's not a permanent group, so it's not the same exact guys every time, but I have, my go-to guys. I've got like a handful of bass players, a handful of drummers, and then of course I'm playing guitar live. So yeah, and I've got guys that I know are pretty much going to just be around for things in New Jersey, and then I've also got guys, that aren't necessarily going, guys that aren't necessarily going to tour, and then I've got guys that only play with me when it's on a tour because they
Mm.
live in Florida or they live in Missouri. And
Cool.
so, they've got to fly. It'd be foolish to fly out here for one show. But for a tour, they'll fly out here and, we'll rehearse for a couple days and then hit the road. So yeah, I've got my go-to guys. There's multiple guys on each instrument that are my go-tos, but yeah, there are. And of course, Lexi Vito is my on the keys, is my number one go-to. I was about to say only, but she's my number one go-to on the keys as well. So Lexi
Very
Vito,
nice.
she's the closest thing to a bandmate that I currently have.
Very good. Very good. And I was just on your Facebook book page, and I just saw her on there. Very nice. Very good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
She's like she's close enough to being a permanent member that she's in a lot of the photo shoots I'll do and stuff, and I try to get her in all the videos and everything. So when she can, she's on tour right there with me. But she's also, she's a very talented classical pianist. So she's got her own things going on, and yeah, she's very talented.
beautiful, beautiful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Okay. So up next, you said is your fourth. Okay. Okay. Fourth EP coming, and was it okay? What was the most recent one? Was it the one you had last time you were on my show?
Yes. So before I self-destruct, the deluxe version came out March 2019. So it's a little, less than a year. So, I think I'd like to put out an EP every year and a half or so. So I'd say probably probably going okay time wise. Um, but yeah. So Before I self-destruct was the most recent.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Hey, and how many songs are you coming up for the next one?
Actually, let me look at so I'm going to record 8, and then I'm probably only but I'll probably put 6 on there,
Mm-hmm.
and then have 2 more for either the next EP or maybe just toss them depending on where it goes. But this record is going to include a remix of my song California, which is on my 2009 record, Set Off the Revolution. And the reason I'm redoing that one is because it's probably the most well-known to date. Not so much anymore because it came out in 2009, but it's overall, I'd say it's probably what brought me the most amount of attention. So I decided, why not modernize it and put it on the new record.
All right. Okay.
And I
cool.
think, and you know what? That's going to be featuring Ryan Dunson. He's the singer from Rookie of the Year.
Oh.
Yeah. So he'll be on.
Nice.
He'll be on that song too. So that'll be cool. Get a little bit of clout, if you will.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm looking forward to touring again in the future. Hopefully, you'll be able to very soon. Are there any early stops you would like to hit first, or what?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Yeah, and I agree. Hopefully sooner than later. It's already crazy to think that I haven't played a show in over a year. But yeah, you know what? I got to get back to Texas. I love Texas.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I love Texas just in general. So I'd say for going on the road, I'd love to get back to Texas really soon. And as far as playing locally around here, I've got to say Philly really embraces us. It's pretty incredible because I'm not even from Philly. I'm at the Jersey Shore, and the audience in Philly treats me or treats us, depending on if it's a solo or a band, but treats us better than our own backyard. I could go.
Oh, wow.
I could play a show. I could play a show on my street right in front of the house, and I'll have 5 people throw garbage at me, 1 person cheer, and 3 people give me the finger. I go in Philly, and they're all showing love. Philly is all love.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Hey, any particular venues whose I've been to a bunch of them myself. Some of them recently have been closing too, which is a damn shame.
Yeah. Well, if you want to keep it to Philly specifically, I'd say one of my favorites there is the Voltage Lounge, which I just saw was closing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been there. Damn. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great venue. Yeah, we played there. Played there with Aaron Carter, and I think February of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
The tour went through there. Played there with we were on the road a little bit with Ryan Cabrera, and that one went through there. It's a great venue. It's got balcony and everything, so it's got two stories and
beautiful.
Yeah, I love I love venues where there's a balcony where people can go up and see the stage from a high vantage point. But unfortunately, they're not going to make it. I also love playing at the Barbary in Philly.
That I've been to. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's a great venue.
Yeah.
Fortunately, well, I don't want to jinx it. Fortunately, I haven't heard any rumblings about them, which in this crazy time is a good thing. No news is great news.
Yeah.
So hopefully they make it. But I'd say the Barbary, and and I guess, you know, what's now shuttered, but Voltage Lounge in Philly, two of my absolute favorite venues. In New Jersey, I would say Starland Ballroom, but you don't play there all that often.
Right,
You
right.
know, but yeah, I love Philly, and I'm gonna miss the Voltage Lounge. So it's unfortunate that a lot of these great venues aren't gonna make it through the pandemic.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, it's been rough on everyone.
Yeah,
It really has. It has if a club, you know, if a club doesn't also double as a restaurant, and they can't even do the takeout either, that a lot of restaurants are depending on, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's unfortunate. I mean, this whole thing,
yeah,
it's been terrible.
it
Absolutely
is, it
terrible.
is. Oh, okay. Um um since you mentioned touring in Texas, has has have you seen a lot there? Is it okay. Have you been to the bigger bigger cities? Have you been to the um, uh, well-known fun ones like Austin and all?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we actually we toured through there with Rookie of the Year and Spitalfield in November 2019, and we hit. There were probably 4 or 5 dates that were in Texas alone. So we hit Austin, San Antonio, Houston, definitely at least one other one, maybe two. So yeah, we were all throughout Texas, but unfortunately, you know, my memory with the actual city itself is forget it. You know,
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, but definitely San Antonio, Houston, and whatever I mentioned before, Austin. I'm not sure if I mentioned
Nice.
that one before. Definitely Austin.
It- Is do you okay? Are you able to make time to see the sites, or is it just go there and leave? You know.
Yeah, no, to be honest, it's funny. People always, when, you know, even friends and whatnot, they'll see where we're going. They'll be, oh, you have to see this, you have to go see this. And there's no time for any of that.
Right, right.
You know, I
On
mean,
to the next town, right? Right.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's times where we'll play a show, and then maybe you get out of the venue at, let's say, 11 o'clock, but we've got a show where we have to load in the next day at 4, and it's 12 hours away.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we end up driving through the night and basically trading off sleeping. So one guy will be driving, the other guy, there'll be another guy in the front seat making sure the driver doesn't fall asleep. And
Right.
then there'll be one of us in the back seat sleeping, you know, and then
Hmm.
this way, then we'll pull over, the guy sleeping takes over the driving, the guy driving then moves over and makes sure that the driver stays awake. And so we end up in a pattern like that.
Right. Very good. Very good. Wow. Hey, well, I hope your touring comes back in the near future. Um, okay. I know you have your guitar tuned up. Did you want to gr- grace us with any tunes yet?
Sure. Yeah,
Well, okay, wonderful. All
absolutely.
right. Oh, good, good, good. And make sure to give us the song titles also, and I can record them on our playlist later on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So this is I'm gonna play an acoustic version of The Hangover, which is the as of yet unreleased song. Do I have a second to have a water bottle?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, we can cut out that little break, right?
Okay, I'll just pause right now.
Oh, okay.
Resumed. Okay, and we're back with Victory Drive, otherwise known as Jamie McClanahan. Welcome, guy.
Okay, so
all right.
This song is called "The Hangover." It is an upcoming single that is not yet released. So the only way you'll all hear the full band version for at least the next couple months is right here on the air. And
awesome.
And now I'm going to play an acoustic version. So all of our other songs are on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube if you don't have streaming, all that fun stuff. So I guess without any, what do they say? Without any further ado, whatever it is. Anyway, here we go. The song's called "The Hangover." Summer passed me by. September came and took you away. This small town seems so quiet now, and I can't believe winter's come around. Think you could stay? I'm feeling so sad since you went away. Put me to bed and I'll be okay. Hope I feel better when I'm sober. Months pass and I still would travel night, but I'm stuck in the meantime. And now that your birthday's give me till 26. Leave the city and be anonymous. I wish you could stay. I'm feeling so sick since you went away. Put me to bed and I'll be okay. I hope I feel better when I'm sober. And I wish this could change, but I guess it's too late. Surprise, surprise. I've never been good at being on time. Hope I feel better when I'm sober. Oh yeah, please don't forget me when we're older. On a planet, listen to the radio. Wish things could stay. I'm feeling so sick since you went away. Put me to bed and I'll be okay. Hope I feel better when I'm sober. And I wish this could change, but I guess it's too late. Surprise, surprise. No, I've never been good at being on time. Hope I feel better when I'm sober. Oh yeah, please don't forget me when we're older. The Hangover.
That sounds beautiful, man.
Thank
Great,
you.
great, great.
Unfortunately, my voice wasn't warmed up, so that went a little rougher than I.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Oh no, that's not. That's on me. But yeah, it's a new song called "The Hangover," and it'll be out in I believe when it's come out, sometime in February, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, until then, it's all here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. And WLFR debut, definitely. Thank you for that, man.
Oh, thank you for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Okay. Hey, where can people find you online?
So my handle, regardless of the platform, is at the Victory Drive. Very simple. It's just at the band name, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, you name it.
Very good, very good. What was that you said?
Even on MySpace.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
MySpace. Is still there, are you?
You know what? I don't. Is MySpace even still there? I have no idea.
Oh no. I had a MySpace myself. Last time I tried to find my own page there, I couldn't find it. I don't know what's going on with it now.
Oh man. Yeah. It changed hands too many times, and I don't know. It was great when it was geared towards bands.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
It was fantastic.
And they even had their own record label too, man. And I was playing bands that were on MySpace Records. It was great back then. Yeah. It's just a shame what happened to it, really.
Yeah, it is. It is. It really is.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Did you want to do any other tunes before we wrap things up, or what? Or is that it for now? It's up to you. Completely up to you.
I could do another tune. Why don't I do California is going to be on the upcoming record as well.
Oh, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. I can do that one. Let's see. I might change the key to make it a little easier to sing. I have some vocal issues today. I'm going to move it up to make it easier to sing. I know that sounds backwards. But... But yeah, this way it's easier to go into some falsetto notes. So it kind of makes sense, although at first it sounds backwards. But yeah, so cool. So there have been some overnight temperature changes. I accidentally turned the heat off when I left yesterday, and because of the temperature changes, the guitar keeps getting knocked out of tune.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, temperature changes are not good for it. All right. Okay. So the song is called California. It originally came out on my 2009 record called "Set Off the Revolution," and now it's there's going to be a remix that's going to be on the Epidemic. So, without any, what we decided the saying is, without any further ado.
Right.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Can't smile, can't flash. Liquor on her lips and a bubble bath. Promise but a last drug me up. It's gonna get a little sad. I hit the West Coast, it makes you smile. Guess it's goodbye for a while. I'm leaving on the best terms. Power will change your world. Hold on, it's faster than you. And I'm calling to California. I'll be right here. I hope it'll do it for you. I'll be waiting for you to start in California. First class salary distress, desire on her hips and the nervousness. All the clever lines you wanna try. Not working cause I know you're high. And it's cool we were too long ago. Fame's giving you an ego. And I wish you didn't, but I knew that you'd change. Guess it's too late to say goodbye. You're early. What tragedy. Oh, calling out to California. I'll be right here. Hope it'll do it for you. I've been waiting for you to start. Now we're in overtime, and sudden death is sneaking up faster than the words that roll off of my lips. I'm used to get me out of days like Calling out to California. I'll be right here. I hope it'll do it for you. I'll be waiting for you. Calling out to California. I'll be right here. Hope it'll do it for you. I'll be waiting for you. California. Woo!
Okay, that was great, man. That was great.
Thank you.
Beautiful tune, beautiful tune. Okay, hey, okay. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for playing. Pleasure to have you on always. He's and you're always welcome back, whether it's in the studio in the future or via Zoom here. What the, you know?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on. You know, you've promoted my music pretty considerable amount, more than anyone else over the last probably 2 years. So I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you debuting the song. And I'll make a big fuss about it, so I get all my listeners to tune into your show for that. And it's
Thank
really
you.
great. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. People can find you at the Victory Drive everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You have a website also, don't you?
Yeah, thevictorydrive.com.
Very good. Very good. And looking forward to seeing you there as well. Good luck in the future with everything.
Thank you so much, and thank you again for all the promotion. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right. And here we go.